Good afternoon. I'm going to quickly do the 7 summits. It's a Fujairah Adventures walk. It's quite iconic here in Fujairah and across the UAE. It's been visited. Now, I put on Google Maps Fujairah Adventures 7 summits, and I received an email. Well, I received a message from them about 3 or 4 months ago saying you've reached 250,000 views on the search engine on Google Maps. And then I received another one. Now, just to let you know, we had some very bad rains here for the last week or so. So this is all being repaired, and they will repair this because this is one of their big things here. So just disregard this first bit. So I'm now on the 7 summits, and it's got this lovely sort of paved, crazy paving access to get to the top of the 7 summits. And the reason they did this is for wheelchair access. And obviously, I think you still have to assist the person in the wheelchair because there are some very, very steep curves. But this is so anybody can access the top of the 7 summits. The actual route along the 7 summits is slightly different. I don't think that's particularly wheelchair friendly, but the good thing is everybody can get to the top. So I've done this lots of times. I've done the data on this. It's 1.6 kilometers, so about a mile. It starts with a very steep climb up the zigzags. I've got the GPS running. Oh, I haven't got the GPS running, but I know the data. Yeah, it starts with quite a steep climb. It's easy though. It's a few hundred meters. And I know the altitude gain. I'll tell you at the top. So, it's lovely. Beautiful, beautiful lunchtime walk. You can get around the whole thing in half an hour, easily. You can actually do it 2 or 3 times, and there's a staircase in the middle which I'll take you on. Why is it called the 7 summits? There's lots of folklore that will have you believe all sorts of stories. Lucky number 7, the 7 continents, the 7 highest mountains on each of the continents, the 7 this, the 7 that, the magnificent 7. But in reality, it's to do with the 7 United Arab Emirates. And there are 7 towers on top. Each one is supposed to represent an emirate, but no one will say which one represents which emirate. So it's not like the first is Abu Dhabi, the second is Sharjah, the third is Dubai. There's none of that. The last summit that you hit is actually quite a long way down, and you can hardly see it from the road. So 6 of the summits are kind of on top, and the 7th, as I say, is on the way down. Now, when you come here, make sure you bring some grapes, because when you get to the 7th of the summits, of the towers, you are liable to see a lot of goats. And you know that goats love grapes. That should be the expression, goats love grapes. I love this paved walkway up here. It's very nice. I could bring my grandma up here. I am in absolutely no rush to get up here. And if, like me, you've got plenty of time, on just about every one of the bends is a nice little seat. It's a lovely touch. Thank you, Fujairah Adventures. Let me have a sit down. What can I see sat here? Oh, it's lovely. No time, no rest for the wicked, as they say. No rest for the wicked. Onwards and upwards. You can, of course, see the 120 metre high big flag. It's right by, there's plenty of car parking. There are lots of rules and regs, of course. You can come up here only if you're fit and able to do so. You can't camp on here. You can't have a barbecue on here. You can bring your picnic up. Now, there are plenty of bins down the bottom that are, I'm pleased to say, emptied regularly. However, whilst you're up on the actual mountain itself, it's not a mountain, it's kind of a little hiking trail along a ridge. Whilst you're up here, there aren't any bins, so bring your own rubbish down. So the wind has picked up. That can only mean one thing. I'm at the top of the trail. It's a lovely windy day. We're on the back of that rain. The air is crystal clear. It's beautiful. No pollution. Visibility sharp. So there's the first of the towers. Family having their photo taken. And as you can see, suddenly it goes from the crazy paving, which is quite flat and wheelchair friendly-ish, to mountain trail. And once again, I suppose, if you had to, you could get anybody up here. But so behind me, the first of the 7 summits has got its tower on the top. The second, up there on the right, these look like they're centuries old, don't they? Protecting the city from the marauding Portuguese and British. However, they were made about 3 years ago. But they may very well. They would be quite good in a defensive role. Let's go and have a look in this one, shall we? Let's have a look. So I'm inside the second of the 7 towers. We can do what no one else can do with this camera. Let's have a look. So I'm in the second. Let's see if we can see the first. And there's the first down there. And so as we progress along here, it's absolutely glorious. You can see the view now, Fujairah. You've got the Grand Mosque there. Oi, got a very scary little insect. Oi, not sure about you. As we progress along here, you've got the Grand Mosque, you've got Fujairah town, Oman Sea. It's wonderful. Now, one thing I will say, this is a great walk. However, for some reason, they have decided to make the descents and the ascents in a couple of places as steep as you could possibly imagine. This is 60%. I have seen people, I promise you, I'm not saying this in a kind of, I don't even know the word, but I have seen people fall over on there. It's very damp here after the rain, so it's actually quite sticky in a way. But when it's dry and dusty, that's quite slippy. So there's your 7 summits. It's on Google Maps. It's 1.6. Look, there's the big flag. I'll wander on back now. I've got to find my wife anyway. Be in trouble again. Let's go up this way. That steep way there is an alternative way down. And there's a couple of steps up here. But truth be told, they're both very steep. They start at the same place and they finish at the same place, and they are more or less the kind of same length. So somewhere along the line, they must be about the same steepness. Now, depending on which way, so the route, what happens, you come up the zigzags, you go along the top, you go down there, then you walk back along the bottom. So what you can do is you can start along the bottom, come up the zigzags, and finish that way. So depending on which way you go, there is, God, I'm out of breath coming up that steep area. Depending on which way you go, there's a staircase. And believe it or not, a lot of people don't know this exists. Look at this. There's a staircase all the way up the mountain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. '72, '73, '74, 174 steps. It's official.